So I love hamburgers. And whenever I go out to a place that serves them, I pretty much always get a burger. And whenever I do, there's always the temptation to order French fries. It's the classic combination, right? Burger, fries, add a beer, and you're in heaven. And one of the lessons that I've learned in terms of food and diet and what I like to eat, my body does well with, is that I actually handle burgers okay. My body likes a lot of meat, and the bread from the bun is usually not too much. I like a lot of veggies on the burger. I like a lot of flavor. It feels amazing. Oh god, just thinking about it gets me hungry. But the thing that I can actually do without is French fries. They're amazing. French fries are undeniably great, but my body hates them. And whenever I eat French fries, I feel punished for doing something stupid because the next day I feel slower, dimmer, itchier, warmer. It's just not good. And some people I think can handle this kind of food okay. The lesson of this video isn't don't eat French fries. The lesson is to know who you are and do slightly better, right? So, as a person who doesn't handle French fries, I find myself on Tuesday nights at a pub after my barbershop rehearsal with a bunch of the other singers from the group, and we're all having a great time and singing and having beer. And I order a burger, and the waiter asks, "Do you want to side with that?" Ooh, that's the question. Beer is flowing. We're having a great time, and in those moments, it's very easy for me to say, "Give me those French fries," because you just want to keep the good times rolling. It feels like you're never gonna die, you're gonna live forever, and this moment is just gonna last and last and last. But I've been good. I've been a good boy, and I've not been ordering French fries with my burgers for weeks. I'm very proud of myself. Very proud of myself for this very, very tiny win. But the last few weeks I've been doing worse because a bunch of things going on. I've been on antibiotics, which make me feel a little extra worse and dimmer than usual. And there's a bunch of other shit going on in my life I'm not going to get into. But so I found myself in the same nexus of decision. Do I order the French fries or don't I? And I knew I was about to say yes. I knew I was about to say yes, and I knew that wasn't going to be good for me. So I was like, God, I was reaching in my mind. What's an alternative? What else? What can I do that's not French fries and not nothing? Because nothing was not going to cut it for me that night. I was going to do more than just a burger. And then it came to me. I'll have two burgers. That's exactly what I did. I had two burgers and no fries. They were amazing. It was too much food. It was way too much food. By the last bite of the second burger, I was like, oh God, what have I done? But I was right. I was right to do it because my body did better with two burgers than it did with a burger and fries. The next day, I was able to get up and do my thing, and I felt clear headed, and I didn't feel like the bloating and awful blech I get from eating French fries. It was like, wow, I was astonished that it actually worked, but it was from this practice of always trying to do better. And the only way that I was able to pull it off is to recognize that I was in a position where my default wasn't burger, no sides. My default was burger and fries because I was not the same person. I was not doing as well as I typically do. I wasn't in as good of a state. And I was real proud of that silly little win. And funnily enough, it happened again last night. I was out with my wife, another difficult day. And we just blown off steam, went to get a burger. And she always gets fries. She tolerates it better than I do. She's also a vegetarian, so it's more the payoff for her. She gets like a veggie burger. And I got asked, "Do you want fries with that?" And I said, "No, make it two." I did it again. And this morning, the scale didn't punish me, and I feel clear headed and able to act. Point is that what I did was better than eating French fries, and that was the actual standard against which I should have measured myself. Um, and that's life, man. That's what actually getting better, doing more, and progressing in life actually looks like, I think. As I've gotten older, I begin to realize that these massive strides and dramatic flourishes that you see people make and often happen in stories are they're the great exception to the way people change. The rule is this. The rule is better is good enough. And it can be 1% better or 1% of 1% better or 1% of 1% of 1% better. And it's still better than just being the person you were yesterday. Even if that person is not the person you're okay with being. So that's my better is good enough story for the week. The one from my wife, which I don't think she'll mind me sharing. I guess we'll find out if that's true. Is about gummy bears. So she loves having something sweet after a meal. She has usually one big meal a day, and afterwards, she just if there's something around, if there's some little bit of candy, it always comes out. Always comes out. And, she was telling me the story where she was at the grocery store, and she saw this great deal on, Haribo gummy bears, which is, like, her go-to, like, favorite thing. And she was like, "Oh, yeah, I should stock up on these. This is a great price." But she managed to stop herself before she got to the checkout and think to herself, "What am I doing? These are gonna all be gone in a night. I can't control myself around these things. Like, it's a nice idea to have just a few, but I can't." And she went for dried fruit instead. And the interesting thing about this choice isn't so much that dried fruit's a better choice um, than gummies, because it obviously is. But what's more interesting about it is that the nutritionist she met with and the system that she uses to help keep her accountable in her diet all tell her not to eat dried fruit. It all says don't eat dried fruit. When we talked about it, I was like, yes, yes, you made the right choice. That's amazing. Because sometimes I feel like when we get this kind of advice about how to live our lives, how to eat, the thing we're measured against, that we're compared against, is this completely unrealistic vision of a person that exists somewhere but is too far away from us to be useful. And so, yeah, would it be better not to have dried fruit? Yeah. But we're not choosing between kale and dried fruit. We're choosing between gummy bears and dried fruit. And that kind of choice, if you can recognize it and make it, will get your life better and better over time. I was proud of her for choosing dried fruit. Was proud of me for choosing to wolf down two burgers. In each of these cases, we found a way to be a little bit better than the person we were yesterday. And it makes me feel like life is going to go on. It makes me feel like I'm on a path, like we're on a path. And knowing that is a great comfort.